Destination Newry. Z Cars. You wouldn't remember Z Cars.
I do.
Do you remember Z Cars?
Jimmy Ellis.
Yeah, Jimmy Ellis, indeed.
I do indeed.
Indeed. This is Stephen. Stephen is with me from the police service of Northern Ireland, and you're a good man, Sergeant Stephen Davies. You're Warrenpoint based. Mm-hmm. You grow strong on the perfumes of the sea that come to you,
yes,
brought up on your shore.
Always very fragrant.
And I see you out there running in the morning in your leotard, out taking it all in. Is that
no, that's
not
you. That's you.
That's
Your unitard.
The game is up.
You're
What's the difference between a leotard and a unitard? Hey, caught you.
I haven't a clue. all I'm thinking of is the mankini. I can just.
Oh, sweet Jesus! No.
I have this vision of you.
No, don't go there.
That's not a pleasant.
No,
thought.
it's not. No, just leave that to the women in my life. That's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
They deserve a medal for putting up with it. I tell you. What's happening?
Well, I'm very tired, as it has to be said. Very, very tired.
Well, listen, just stop for a minute.
We've had a lot.
No, quit for a minute.
All right, go on ahead.
He's very tired. No, you're right too. Yeah, you move out. So what's been happening? What has made you tired?
Well, we've been working long hours at these festivals.
Oh,
we had the Billy Fair.
Yeah. Could be worse. You might have been in the front line in Belfast this year and you weren't.
No, well,
thanks be to
true.
God.
Well,
you were last year, weren't you?
Yes, the front line in Belfast was quiet.
You know, there was good sense prevailed at the very end, Stevie, because the week before there were all sorts of threats, and then people talked and blah, blah, and it all was good. I love the notion of talking.
It is good to talk.
Yeah.
But say, well,
I'd have
Billy
no work
and
if I
then
didn't talk. I'd have no work if I didn't talk. You walk the walk, I talk the talk.
You talk the talk.
So go on ahead, Bully and...
So we had the Bully and then we had the Fiddler's Green in Rostrevor. And we have a couple of days off now, and now we're going to be starting this weekend with the Maiden of Mourns, or Rock the Point.
Yes,
I think it's been terrific.
And there's a kind of a tent has been put up.
Yes.
No, they're called a marquee.
A marquee, yes.
A marquee has been put up under my balcony. And I'll be sitting out with earmuffs on and drinking nice white wine, which is good.
Watching. And I think we have Smokey coming. I mean, there's Smokey. Do you remember them from about 1975?
Watch my lips. I do not remember Smokey. I
You
haven't
do.
a clue what you're talking about.
Of course you do. And Alice?
Alice. Who the fuck?
You knew think we'd rehearsed that?
You would.
But we'll have Smokey coming, Bag of Tail, I think, are playing.
You can't wait.
No,
Yeah.
Nathan Carter.
Nathan, not Nathan.
I think Nathan Carter's coming.
That's good.
Or maybe,
Yeah.
or maybe Mike Denver. There's a couple of country stars.
You're
coming.
really
Now, when I say country stars,
an old groupie. That's what you
no,
are.
well, it's just there's two types of music I don't like, and that's country and western. So,
Yeah, country. That's the two of them.
so I can't have those.
Do you see if this good weather continues? I will become an alcoholic because I've discovered white wine, and I drink it on my balcony with my canapes, and it's really wonderful. And then I'm sitting on one side of the balcony, and all the birds come, the flighty birds come and sit on the table beside me, and I feed them, you see.
Out of your canapes?
No, I keep the peace for myself. But here, is it a good general observation? We're talking festivals here. My mother used to say of people who misused drink, she used to say, when the drink's in, the wit is out.
Yes.
Is that, broadly speaking, a truism?
It's so accurate, it's scary. Yes, people become very loud, don't have any concept of what they would normally class as acceptable behaviour, and people who would walk past you on a sober day with their head down, not say a word, are up, their arms around you, or I mean, if I had £1 for every time, can you give me a lift home? We'd be very rich. In fact, we should maybe start charging.
You know.
I know the taxi man would be up in arms. But
it's crazy stuff.
It is, but you know, it was all. Most of the stuff was very good natured. Although there was a wee bit of damage, unfortunately, a wee bit of damage to the Little Folk Play Group, their play park that they just got finished off.
Where was that?
In Rostrevor.
In Rostrevor.
And the stuff from there was thrown into the river, which is extremely sad. You know.
Yeah, nonsense really. Why would anybody
want to do that? Take a children's play park and throw it into the river.
Crazy stuff. And then God help the people in Belfast, in East Belfast, good and decent people in East Belfast. But these renegades, these ruffians, with the hate crime stuff last night, smashing cars, paint bombing buildings. How do you keep your
and
temper with these
and
people?
everybody gets tired with the one brush then.
Yeah, well, I do my best to make sure that that's not the case.
Yeah.
Because I have known people in West Belfast and East Belfast, and if I'd closed my eyes, I wouldn't know whether it was a wee woman of the Shankill Road or a wee woman of the Falls Road who was saying, well, Sonny, all right, what are you doing? Either one, there's a warmth there. Do you want a wee cup of tea? All this goes on.
Absolutely.
So there are good people there, and it's despicable what's going on, Stevie.
Yeah.
But you guys are on top of it.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
The fact that these crimes are going on and people aren't being allowed to coexist is very sad, But narrow minds, very narrow minds, is about all you can say about it. They don't realise, that the Irish, went to America, many years ago, and went to London and went to Manchester, and they were victims themselves.
Yeah, notice on doors, no Irish here.
Yeah.
For goodness sake.
So, and I mean, it is something that seems to occur throughout history that migrants, once they do get established somewhere, become equally intolerant.
Yeah.
It's strange, but
indeed.
such is life.
Tell me, did you see the Saga Pearl 2?
I did. I was on it, and
You were not, Steve.
I did.
I
got onto it.
You did not, Steve.
We did. We blagged our way on and went up and spoke to the captain. And you didn't see the stuff on YouTube. There's a boy called Connor Sweeney from Warrenpoint has had one of those wee helicopter jobs.
Yes, over it. Yeah. That's it. We need to be careful with those things. You need a license to fly those.
I would say you do.
Well, you do. The Civil Aviation Authority requires you to be licensed for every event. Well, I hate to steal your thunder.
Right, go ahead.
Read about it in yesterday's Democrat. I joined the Saga Pearl 2 at 5 o'clock in the morning off the lighthouse, and I travelled up on board and made a documentary.
Didn't see it.
Documentary.
We see you would have fitted right in because we were told that there was nobody under 75.
Yeah, I walked into that one. Yeah, but honestly, it was very strange. They were lovely people.
They really were.
But when the doors opened and the hatches opened and they came down the gangway, it was like a strange parade of walking to the end of the earth. They were of my age.
They were.
But I'm better preserved than most of them.
Well,
I would say.
Well,
you would expect that. But it was the most lovely sensation going out there with Leo Cunningham, going out in the pilot cutter. No sign of her at 5 o'clock in the morning. We couldn't see her. There was just the fog bank there.
Yeah.
So and we're going out, and Leo's son is on the helm, the young fella, and he says, "There she is. She's with us." And I still couldn't see her. And then I looked carefully, and I saw the two funnels coming up out of the fog, out of the mist. And then she just came on and just grew, and there she was. So we boarded, the hatch was open, they're halfway along, midships, down at the waterline level, and we came alongside, the same speed. They swung the rope over, we caught the rope and stepped over on, and filmed the whole way up. And there was that marvellous moment where the pilot, Leo Cunningham, said to the skipper on the bridge, "Captain, I'll take her now." And the captain said, "Ship is now with the pilot." And that was entered in the log. Frightening moment that for Leo. Frightening moment for the lad who was giving his ship over to another man. But Leo, the Cunninghams are great people. They're fantastic. There's no.
We did speak to the captain. He says it was tight now. He said it was 15 metres. And that was it.
Yeah.
The 15 metres. He showed us the plot.
Oh, this way. Yeah, this way. The
GPS.
turnings. Yeah. No, the Cunningham is a hugely successful pilot. His father, I knew his father 50 years ago, Willie John Cunningham down there. And he was the start. He was the patriarch of the whole lot. He started it. So we've been drifting a little bit, to use a nautical term. Where do you want to take me?
One thing I do want to mention is the South Armagh neighbourhood team. They have a project starting in August. It's trying to get youngsters between the ages of 6 and 18, boys and girls, interested in football. They're running a coaching class every Tuesday.
Yes.
In August.
Yes.
I think it's from 6 to possibly 6 to 8 p.m. I'm not 100% sure, but Conor O'Hara is running that.
Who's Conor O'Hara?
Conor is one of the constables down in South Armagh.
Should he not be better off with battens, bait and villains?
We don't do that. We're the soft cuddly face of place. I'm shocked. I'm shocked you'd even think of that of me. What is it? Is there something about my demeanour? gives you that impression.
You remember the old days? You'd stop somebody in the car, and I'd be in the car, and somebody maybe in the back. One of these fellas were drunk. Not that I was ever in that situation, but the officer would stop the car and look at it. And the boy at the back says, "Yes, it'd be far better off catching terrorists."
That's
Get
right.
all of this from the old days. And I remember there's a famous one. Two politicians were coming up from Dublin after an Anglo-Irish meeting in Dublin, and they were of a political ilk that allowed them to consume a little alcohol.
Right, okay.
And the fellow that was driving maybe was just on the limit, and the fellow beside him was way over the limit, and he was zonked in the front seat lying there like this. So they were stopped on the Dublin road coming back from Dublin, and the officer was just, "Okay, sir, on you go, sir." Suddenly the boy who's drunk twigged that the cops had stopped them. And he sort of jumps in. He said, "What do you mean stopping this man?" He says, "We were in Dublin saving Ireland and sorting out the whole peace You're a disgrace," he said. "I'm blah, 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 blah. We are." Two boys were arrested and the driver lost his license as a consequence of the big mouth of the other fellow. Crazy stuff. Madness altogether. Gone are the days. Gone are the days.
Absolutely.
So football in Newton Hamilton.
Yes, football in Newton Hamilton in August. It's been run by ourselves in conjunction with CC Coaching and the Police and Community Safety Partners.
I'm very glad you mentioned CC Coaching because, Stevie, I was about to ask you, how could you teach anyone football?
Me? With a head like a football? No. I don't actually like football myself. In fact, I'll tell you how much I hate football. I don't even like people who like football.
No, I know that.
That's how much. Because it just...
That's almost a hate crime.
Well, it must be, because it's years of standard Irish League matches. Listening to...
Boring.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just watching them kick it from one side.
It's awful.
You know,
yeah.
So.
Warrenpoint's starting to do well in the football again. We had them in there this week. There are a couple of young... You know, when cops and footballers start to look younger, you're definitely growing older. And that's what I saw in these footballers.
Well, I haven't noticed that.
No, you didn't know. You're blessed. Well, you're the exception to my rule.
Yes.
So listen to me. What else? The football has been done.
The football's been done. We've been talking about the... I didn't mention antisocial behaviour, did I?
No, you didn't.
I wanted to talk about it. So we had a few incidents there at Rosterver. We had a few at the Bibli Fair. You know, I have a notion that the Warrenpoint thing will be different because you know the town's going to be closed off from Thomas Street right to Mary Street, so there will be a zone there where people can sort of be sensible with alcohol, hopefully. So it's going to be interesting. We'll have the fireworks on the Wednesday night, so there's going to be a fair amount of traffic chaos because there normally is on any Wednesday night. So we're looking forward to that.
When does it start? Next Wednesday?
It starts on Sunday.
On Sunday?
Sunday.
Yeah.
The opening parade is going to be on Sunday. One of the constant things that we have always running in the background here are drugs and the constant problems that we have with them.
And are they in Warrenpoint?
They're everywhere. They really are. But they're in Warrenpoint, they're in Kilkeel, they're in Newry, they're in South Armagh. But we have been making huge inroads.
Thanks be to God.
Absolutely. What we need to do is keep getting the information coming in. So anybody
that's the way to deal with it.
Absolutely. The likes of yourself there, you're living in an area where there are lots of people moving about. You're sitting out in your balcony having a glass of wine. You will see things going on. People will see things as they're sitting watching their television. You'll see, well, there's a car coming over there. Right. It's only there 30 seconds and it's away again. And there's another one 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
Wee bits and pieces.
A bit of intelligence.
Yes.
I would certainly have no hesitation whatsoever in contacting the police about drugs, because drugs kill human beings and children, and the chief coroner of Northern Ireland, Lecky, said that this week.
That's right.
The stuff's coming in, these speckled cherries and whatever they're called. People are taking them and they're dying as a consequence. And zero tolerance for drugs and drug fellows who sell drugs. Let's hit them and hit them hard. And you hit them hard by keeping your eyes open and letting the police know those who are involved, and let it be stopped.
Absolutely.
And full stop, because we're doing it for our children and our children's children.
Yeah, there's so much going on, and then you have the what they call, for some reason they call them soft drugs. Like the cannabis, everybody thinks it's okay, but the number of people whose heads are completely
wrecked on it.
Completely wrecked.
I'd be dangerous if I'd ever taken drugs. The only drug I've ever taken is my good my good red wine with my meals, and it's lovely. I might have said before, all it does to me is get me romantic, and it's lovely. I just chill and I say, my darling, you like some more wine? And funny, my voice changes as well. I go very Mediterranean. You'd know this sort of thing.
No, I don't actually. you crack on. See, I don't drink at all. I have no bad habits at all.
God, you're a wee saint.
Indeed.
Yeah, there's no two
I'm
ways
just
about
trying to
it.
adjust the halo here.
I know. Well, I wouldn't actually. I'll tell you, it's a truism that even the modest amount of wine that I would take with my dinner, if I'm there with a woman, it'll be half a bottle. She'll take 2 glasses. I'll have 2 glasses. If I'm there on my own, it will be 2 3/4 glasses, and the cork will go back onto it, and that's the end of it. And that might happen 3 nights a week. But as I say, the good weather, the sunshine, and the tapas on the balcony, terribly tempting, you know. Why did you never drink? Was it a religious thing with you, or what got into you?
Well, neither my mother or father
Isn't that nice?
drink, so I drank.
It was a good example.
You know, and I do remember my ma saying to me when I was about 14, if you ever come home to this house drunk, you'll not be getting in. You'll not get back in either.
You see, there's a great distinction to be made between drinking and getting drunk.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's a distinction. I heard 2 people talking in the Eurospar yesterday. They were talking across at each other, 2 couples. And one she said, "And you may let her have a drink and what?" Aye, she says, "I will you drive and then will I be able to get drunk then?" And the eyes lit up. And it reminded me of the story of the fellow who said, "I had a great night last night." Oh, gee whiz, he had a great night. I got drunk. I was sick and everything. It's terrible when you think of it.
Yeah.
There's a madness to it.
You know.
A madness.
Well, I mean, I was in the park in Rostrevor there last week. One of those nice sunny days. It was about 6 o'clock in the evening, and I came across this group of young lads, and one of them was lying snoring away. And I gave him the odd nudge, nothing. Another nudge, nothing.
Gone.
Another nudge. All his mates were laughing at this stage. He was completely out of his tree.
Out of his tree, yeah. No,
and I thought, well, what's the point?
Yeah.
And you talk to them, oh, what are you here for? We're here for the fiddlers. You haven't seen a band.
Yeah.
Not one band had they seen.
Stevie, wind me up and remind the people again of the importances in your life this week. What do we need to be looking out for?
Drink, drugs, don't abuse either. If there's any information on drugs and drug dealing, please let us know. Use the confidential telephone or phone us direct or speak to some of us on the street. I'll be out on my bike, I'm sure. We'll be out during the festival. And the football in South Armagh.
That's all good.
In Jim Steen Park.
In the nicest possible way, Stevie Davies, on your bike.
Thank you very much.
God bless you. Take care. It's good to see you.
Right on.
Good to see you.